Aaron Rodgers taking to Instagram with a Shawshank Redemption quote. I have to remind myself that some birds aren't meant to be caged, and when they fly away, the part of you that knows it was a sin to lock them up does rejoice. Still, the place you live in is that much more drab and empty that they're gone. I guess I just miss my friend.
Yeah.
Hashtag friendship, hashtag teammates, hashtag brothers, hashtag Packers. Who's left now? This is and here's the thing. You don't want to live forever because all your loved ones and friends will eventually die. You don't want to be a quarterback in the NFL for 20 years because eventually all your friends are going to be gone.
Yes.
And you're going to have to make new friends.
Yeah, and you're the old guy in the locker room.
You're the old guy, and
right.
you don't know anybody in there, and
right.
you got to all that time you spent in that one relationship, all that time you invested, forget about that. You got to spend all this time with a new guy. It'll drive you crazy if you let it. What does this mean for Aaron Rodgers now that Randall Cobb's gone? Jordy Nelson last year. Devontae Adams is the old man in the locker room at the receiver positions, a bunch of young guys. And what does that mean for Aaron Rodgers? How does he feel about this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think he's sitting at home going, man, well, look at me. I got weapons galore. I think he's been saying that for the last few years, really, honestly. I mean, hey, Jordy Nelson's still a solid player, but he's not special at this point in his career. I mean, I think we're proving that Randall Cobb has not really been special for a few years. It's probably been 3 years since he has. This is part of what I've been arguing with Aaron Rodgers. This is why I love his greatness because, there's guys like this that we never hear of every year who contribute at the wide receiver position. Valdez-Scantling, Equinemius St. Brown. You get to those type of guys, and you go, who the hell are they? But they're catching passes. They're not even open, but Rodgers threw a laser right in there and got it to him. So I think at some point they've realized, hey, Rodgers can make it happen no matter what. We don't have to spend money for huge weapons at the wide receiver position. And I think they're trusting their evaluations a little bit. Guys like this, the guys we put up on the St. Brown, they got potential. There's no doubt about it. Valdez-Scantling had some good moments last year, so I think they're going to go with some of these young guys and hope they can continue to get better.
I remember it was last year during training camp, he called out the young guys for not properly running their routes and understanding what they needed to do
Geronimo Allison, we got to remember him too.
He's back. Yeah, he's back.
Right.
And they spent money this year in free agency, but it was primarily on the defensive side of the ball. They added offensive lineman Billy Turner, but no money spent on skill position players. No new running backs, no new receivers other than bringing Allison back, no new tight ends. They brought back Mercedes Lewis, but Jared Cook was and theoretically is still out there, and that was a guy that Aaron Rodgers, he's stumped for him.
Why didn't we pay Jared Cook the Graham contract? That's what I don't understand. I mean, that's proving to be a little bit of a mistake there.
Well, that was a year. I think Jimmy Graham got what he got because they screwed up Jared Cook.
Yeah.
And that was the reaction because instead of Jared Cook, they signed Martellus Bennett. That was a disaster. And the next year they said, let's pay Jimmy Graham. And I'm surprised they kept Jimmy Graham because he's been a disappointment so far. He's not the guy that he used to be, but Cook's still very good. But it looks like the Saints are going to land him. The Packers, I guess, could still get involved late and try to get him back in Green Bay. And I just wonder where the Packers are right now from the standpoint of how deferential they even want to be to Aaron Rodgers. On one hand, I look at the hiring of Matt LaFleur, and I think they wanted a guy that's going to work well with Aaron Rodgers,
right,
and will maybe be deferential to Rodgers because Rodgers is the face of the franchise. Rodgers is the most important employee in the organization.
Yep.
$33.5 million per year in new money on his new contract. He's the guy who's going to be there for the next 4 or 5 years. But then you're not making personnel moves that seem to be in any way designed to placate him. Now, the draft may be different.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to load up running backs and receivers in the draft.
Receiver could be a big thing. It could be one of their first-round picks. I can imagine going to receiver. They're sitting in that position to where...
And they do have two.
Yes, right. So they're good be in a spot next year or this year in this draft where, one of the real good receivers in the draft is available. Would not be shocked if they made that move. But, hey, they're trusting. And what I think they're doing is going, okay, we got Billy Turner to improve the offensive line a little bit. Let's protect LaFleur's new offense. Nate Hackett's going to be involved, who I think a lot of, okay? And that collaboration, I think they think the offense will be more creative, and I think that at the end of the day, they're realizing they have such a special talent at quarterback that he can make it work with maybe, less than the normal quarterback could make work, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. And I would agree with that. But I do wish they would add one more playmaker to, the fold here just to take a little little pressure off him at times, because we've seen in the past and recent history, when the Packers have to play good defenses with good corners, it's every play is, oh, Rodgers has to make magic. And that's where I constantly get sick of defending him because of that, because then it doesn't look pretty and people go, oh, his completion percentage is not that great this game. And I want to go, well, if we all went back and watched the film, I would show you that here's the 45 times he dropped back to pass, and here's only the 2 times people were actually open. So that's what I always defend Aaron Rodgers with. I don't think that'll be the case here, because I think some of these young guys are unknown, but a little more talented than the public knows.
For a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick and $51 million or so over 3 years, should the Packers have made the move for Antonio Brown?
Right. I mean, I would have loved to have seen that, certainly. That or Le'Veon Bell. I mean, I thought maybe they would get involved in the Le'Veon Bell conversation, too, to a degree. I think Rodgers and Brown could have coexisted. I do. I think Rodgers has enough personality and charisma about him. And then I think, again...
Wait, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think he does. And I think that with a guy that talented...
Not Mr. Rodgers.
Not Mr. Rodgers. I'm talking about the Aaron Rodgers, who's one of the better interviews in football always, and gives you honest answers and really answers things honestly. I'm so sick of hearing, oh, his leadership stuff and all that. Hey, the leadership, we blame Aaron Rodgers for leadership, with the Packers, but then Mike Tomlin gets blamed for it with, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't understand that. No, Mike McCarthy was part of the issue there. You can't call plays on Sunday and not be in the offensive meetings during the week. There's issues. That will make the quarterback roll his eyes during a game when the coach who wasn't in the game planning calls a play and you go, well, that's stupid. We talked all week we wouldn't call this play in this situation, and now he's going to call it. And then we're shocked that the guy rolled his eyes. So, yeah, I think there's just more to it that's gone on in Green Bay, and I think Rodgers has been frustrated at times because he has to do too much.
I just wonder what he could have done, what he should have done, if that's what was going on.
Yeah.
Do you just deal with it your own way, or do you find a way to navigate the organizational chart to go to somebody and say, look, we got a problem here. Yeah. I don't want to be disloyal to my coach, but we got some issues that we need to address. Let's have a conversation about how engaged the coach really is in game planning, then on game day what he tries to do. And we need to, if we want to be as good as we can be, we need to make some adjustments. And I make that point because I can envision Peyton Manning in that circumstance, finding a way to talk to whoever needs to be talked to above Mike McCarthy to make sure that the alarm is sounded, because I only got so many years left in my career, and they're being wasted. And look, maybe it did. Maybe that's why Matt LaFleur is
maybe that's why they went to the restructuring of how they had the pecking order in the organization, and then which led to the next year of McCarthy being gone. I don't know.
And it may very well be that the first step was moving on from Ted Thompson, because it may very well be, and this is all speculation, folks, but it may very well be that Aaron Rodgers tried to go to a guy like Ted Thompson to better manage and supervise Mike McCarthy, and Ted Thompson didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Right, exactly right. There's definitely that possibility. So, yeah, we don't know what went on. I just get sick of hearing Aaron Rodgers' leadership things. I don't think it's fair always. Is he perfect all the time?
I'm shocked by your posture on this.
Well, I know, but also I would like to challenge, somebody challenge me on what he has done that's shown lack of leadership. I don't understand that.
I don't think based upon, because look, as many former teammates have complained about him as former teammates have complained about Ben Roethlisberger. And you'll acknowledge there's something with Ben Roethlisberger when it comes to the personal connection to teammates. I think Rodgers has the same issue. Now, I don't think he's a jerk per se, but I don't think he connects the way that he needs to. And we talked earlier in the show about how if you're going to get on these guys on the practice field, you need to have a beer with them. You need to hang out with them. They need to have your cell phone number, and you need to have theirs.
No question.
And you need to be texting gifts back and forth to each other and having the kind of relationship we have. You need to have that so you can get through and pass those moments where you call a guy out to a reporter because he screwed up during practice. If you don't have the personal relationship to balance out how rocky things can get professionally from time to time, you're going to have that wall. There's going to be a barrier there that makes it harder to lead.
Yeah, no, I mean, you made a lot of good points, and you're exactly right. And I'm not saying he's perfect, but I don't think he's on Big Ben's level either. I don't think that's the case. Okay?
No, I agree with you. I'll give you that. But I don't.
Julius Peppers, when he retires and says he only names 5 players he ever played with in the history of the sport after a 16 or 17-year career, and Aaron Rodgers is one of them, where he said he was one of the best teammates he ever played with.
Yeah, because he left me alone.
Well,
that's the thing. Julius Peppers Peppers is a different bird.
Well, but
he wanted to be left alone, and Aaron Rodgers left him alone.
Okay, well, the receivers that complain about Aaron Rodgers, just so we know that, are guys that all like left town, and they probably feel like Aaron Rodgers could have saved them from leaving town because he had that kind of power within the organization in general. To where I think we also have to look at the situation of the guys who have come out and said those things. Where I want to go, I think there's a little bit of a personal aspect here as well, that you're just not happy that you were there and you were doing pretty good, and they didn't keep you around, and you had to go play for the Minnesota Vikings next, or whoever it may be.
Well, you're talking about Greg James.
Well, yeah, just some of those guys.
Who's the best pass-catching tight end Aaron Rodgers has ever had?
Jermichael Finley.
Jermichael Finley never had Aaron Rodgers' phone number.
Okay.
And according to Jermichael Finley.
Yeah, okay.
Because it first came up a few years ago. This was the thing that started, 2016 or thereabouts. Tyler Dunn of Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
You may be familiar with that.
I know Tyler. He's great. Tyler's the man.
And I'm just a jerk. But anyway, and he did a great article that called into question how good of a leader is Aaron Rodgers capable of being the leader the Packers need.
Right.
And it wasn't long after that things started to kind of crumble a little bit, and I felt like Rodgers was taking some shots at Mike McCarthy. That's when Aaron Rodgers called me out and said, don't waste your time reading that crap, which may have been one of the most astute observations he ever made. But that's when that all came up, and Finley said in that article, I don't have his – when I played there, I didn't have his phone number.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Again, I don't condone that. Yes, but just because he didn't have his phone number doesn't mean he's a bad leader either. Okay, I didn't have everybody on the offense's phone number. Jermichael Finley was a very young player at the time. Jermichael Finley, if we really want to get it, I don't think he was exactly perfect at that point of his life either.
He may not somebody that you would want having your phone number.
Well, that's what I mean. So I'm not going to go down that wormhole there, but I do think there was, if we really want to dive into a he said, I could certainly throw out some things about Jermichael Finley where you'd go, oh, okay, well, I'm not so sure I'd want to have his phone number either. So, yes, I mean, again, it's not always perfect. I understand that. And when you are the face of the franchise and an Aaron Rodgers who is the man, and I'm sure everybody there treats him like the man, guys are going to get jealous at times. And it's a little different. Yes, it's not New England and the power structure that's there. That's a special place, and that's been, set up by Bill Belichick, and a culture that's been set up by him from day one, and that's not in place in a lot of places in the NFL.
All right, good observations all around. And look, I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks the NFL has ever seen, but I still don't know. Just like in Pittsburgh, I don't know who to blame for the fact that the Steelers haven't been back to the Super Bowl since the 2010 season. I don't know who to blame in Green Bay.
Well, you do. I mean, hey, he can't. Okay. Well, let's go through it. Okay, he can't. The Falcons, their defense in the NFC Championship game, they're allowed to stop the Falcons. I checked the rule book; they were allowed to stop the Falcons that day. He can't recover the onside kick when he gives his team an 11-point lead on the road in an NFC Championship game in the fourth quarter against one of the greatest defenses we've ever seen. So all those have to be taken into account too. It's not just about him. There's other guys that have messed up just like this year. What happened to Green Bay and the Aaron Rodgers? Well, he was really close to making magic at the end of the Rams game when he was getting on fire. They fumbled the kick return. We've talked about the Patriots game. It was like, here he is. He's in the zone. He's starting to take over the game. Aaron Jones fumbles. Oh, okay. He's making some amazing plays up in Seattle. They're not going to go for it on 4th and 1. They're going to punt it. Oh, they don't get the ball back. The game's over. So he had 3 opportunities this year where there could have been defining moments that he talked about that could have changed their season, and they weren't presented to him to actually do it and save the team because other people messed it up.
Big Cat was on with me at some point within the past couple of weeks on a Friday, and he said it takes him an hour to wake up into the show. Aaron Rodgers has this thing where it takes like an hour for him or longer to wake up.
Yes,
during a game.
It does.
Doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
How about wake up from the beginning of the game?
Because I think it's been a crap offense. You've heard me say that. So he's always going, all right, how do I got to figure this out today to make it happen?
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.